When we started our expedition, we never dreamed we'd find something so profound. Our plan had simply been to explore further into the cave system than anyone before. We never expected we'd find humans living down there. At least they looked like they'd once been human. Their skin was a pale gray, and the milky eyes told us that they were blind. Though, from the large ears and the clicking noises they produced, it was evident they easily navigated by sound. They moved through the tunnels with preposterous dexterity. We were terrified when they first appeared. But they did us no harm. Feeling over our gear, they were more curious than malicious, and indicated for us to follow. We were led to a large cavern where their leader awaited. Incredibly though, his black pointed teeth, he spoke Spanish, an older form of it. Much older form of it, but close enough that we could understand one another. We asked him how and when they'd come to be down here. He told us that his people had become lost in the caves in the 1500s while searching for a city of gold. We had so many questions. What had they been eating? How had they never found an exit? Just how many of them were there? But he refused to answer more. Instead, he had a question for us. Would we be willing to guide them to the surface? He promised to tell us everything once we'd showed them the way out. We obliged. It wasn't possible to tell how many of them were following us in the darkness, but the slapping of feet echoing off the walls intimidated. There were hundreds, if not thousands of them. At the mouth of the cave, they froze. The leader asked if we could leave them in private for a time, so he could make a speech to prepare his people. I told him we would go ahead to the village and retrieve food. When we arrived, I told a village leader of our discovery. Fear flooded his face. The legend is true, he said. legend? I asked. The Conquistadors wreaked havoc on our ancestors in their search for gold, bringing nothing but death and destruction. They tried to fight, but were no match for the Spanish weapons. So, they came up with a plan. They convinced the Spanish that El Dorado lay underground, and sent them and the native women they'd taken as wives into the caves. Then, they made a blood sacrifice to the gods and invoked a curse. The Conquistadors and their wives would be lost in those caves for all eternity, never eating, never drinking, never sleeping, never dying, just festering, waiting for someone to show them the way out, breeding and growing hungrier and more monstrous by the year. I thought it was just a story. We told children to keep them out. To keep them out from exploring too deep. His eyes grew wider, watching something over my shoulder. I heard a clicking behind me.